Hi YouTube, it's Reversey, and today I have the absolute pleasure of showcasing a Mob Psycho deck profile. So yeah, let's begin with this deck. Okay, so yes, we play 4 choice for our finisher, and we play 4 standby as our level 1 combo. So this is our finisher, Reagan. This card gains 1/5 power for each other Esper or Master character on your backstage. We do run off-trait characters in this deck. It's unavoidable. However, they probably won't be in your back row, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. When this card is frontal attacked, you can damage Scry. Climax combo, pay 1, ditch 1. You can choose one of the 2/1 mobs with markers underneath it, and you can burn however many markers are underneath that card. Next, we play Show. It's an early play healer if you have 4 or more on field. It's a healed stock, and when it reverses a level 2 or higher battle opponent, you can blind stock. Next, we play 3 Teruki. It's an early play if you have full field. If your total level is 4 or higher, it gains 2k. So yes, we run a lot of level 3, so you'll have your experience there. We mainly play this card, so it can do the top X check effect to get your choice trigger, since we don't play anything that grabs climaxes, just for consistency. We also play 1 tech card, which is off trait. This is one of the off trait cards. Club activities. You just play it so you can rearrange top 3. It's kind of like a slime card, and then bounce one of your opponent's characters, and then pay 2, choose this card, and another card gains 1 soul. We play 3 2/2 chocolate chuns that get 4k power for if you have 2 or more other Esper or claw characters, so you need to be careful that you have the traits on board. Like I said, we run a few off-trait cards just because we have to, and then it has a character encore. 10k 2/2. Not a very good standby target, but like there's nothing better in the set. There really isn't. Next, we play 2 mobs. You can play 3 if you want. I think 2 is perfectly fine. We don't play a lot of blue in this deck, so you want to standby this out at level 1. This is your standby target before this, because you want to start stacking markers underneath. This card gives 2k assist to your level 3s. Climax and it gives 500 power to Reagan and this Reagan and Hexproof. Climax combo, if you have Reagan, it gets great performance, which is bodyguard, and 2/5 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So for this to happen, you need to have 4 or more markers underneath this card. Now, you probably won't be using this climax combo, because really, if you have a choice burn, you don't want to be burning for 4. Like, who the hell's going to eat 4? You want to stick with 2 or 3, really. You don't want to go for burn 4. That's just so greedy and so wasteful of this card and how cheap it is to get a burn off. Then its other effects, when a blue or Esper character, so this is a very, very important thing. This is where some anti-synergy happen, but really you cannot build the deck any other way to avoid. You can, but the deck will be really shit. You standby this out at level 1, right? Thankfully, your level 1 combo is Esper, and it's a bomb. So you'll be putting this underneath here. So that's just a note. Your green characters, just treat them as if they're off trait, because they are. You can't really help that unless you want to play really, really garbage cards. Next card we play is a 2/5 backup. It's pay 3, sack a character, anti-change. Tech card, you have extra blue in case you need to level up blue, because sometimes your opponent will bounce this back to your hand if they're smart. And then you won't be able to play it because you don't really have a lot of blue, so that's there for that. We also play 1 3k counter, which is also a memory kicker. It makes you 2/2 13k. Pretty weak. Your opponent will probably get over 13k. But anywho, whatever. Next we play this card, Teruki. And when it attacks, if it's a level 3, so it gains 6k, so you can make it 13 by itself. Next, our climax combo. We only play 3 because this card pluses you on field. It does not plus to hand, and it is a bomb. I mean, if you want to play 4, you can. It's just not really needed in this deck. It's good because it's a bomb. That's what it's got going for it. However, one thing to note with this card, it can only restand a spirit or a claw character, and this is where I have a problem. This card itself is Esper and Claw. So wouldn't you think as an Esper it can restand other Espers? No, it can only restand Spirit and Claw. Play the 1/1 Gumchun. If you have 2 or more other Esper or Claw characters, this gains 2k, so it's a 7/5 character encore, very standard. Yeah, that's your standby target for level 1. Now here's where things get really weird, especially if you know me and how I build my decks. I haven't done too many deck profiles on this channel, but I guess you'll get used to my intricacies of deck building as I upload more. We're playing 4 Brainstorms. I absolutely despise playing 4 Brainstorms in any deck. 3 is consistent enough. The only reason we play 4 is because of the first effect, which gives all your other characters with Reagan get Esper. So you need your Reagans to have Esper so they can be used as markers here, and so they can be used for other characters' effects like this, which can only come into play if you have 4 or more other Esper or Claw characters. Very important, you need this on field. And then it's just a salvage Brainstorm, salvage character, which is good. They didn't, you know, shut themselves out with trait lock again, so I'll give them that. We are playing 4 of these only because they're 3/5 beat sticks and they're Reagan, and your Brainstorm gives Reagan Esper. That's the only reason why. And why is having Esper on field so important? If you're going to make the play of putting this out turn 1, turn 2, you need this to be Esper so this can get power. That's why we run 4. And your opponent gets paid to encore, which they're probably never going to use. And this climax combo is irrelevant, we don't use it. We play 3 Drop Searcher. It's also a flicker, so it puts one of your opponent's cards into memory and brings it back out. Just a standard Drop Searcher, it can search for Esper, Spirit, or Master. So basically everything in the deck except for this. This is the true off-trait card. This is the card like nothing can interact with this card at all except your Brainstorm to salvage it. That is it. Or your this to top check it. You'll know when you need this card from the matchup anyway. Next card we play is Takeuchi Serious Mode. So it's a pay 1, sack itself, look up to 4 for an Esper or Claw character and add it to your hand. So we play this because this deck doesn't have a lot of mill as it is a standby deck. And also before you use that effect, you tap it and you can give something 1k. We play 1 stock swap. You could run 2 if you want, but I think if you know the matchup, there's plenty of ways to grab this card. When this card is placed on stage, you can choose one of your opponent's characters and it loses all of its traits, which can be useful, but you mainly just play it as a stock swap. This is also an off-trait card, like our club activities up there. However, this one is First Love. So it's just a climax swapper because like you're on choice and standby, can't really choose what you have in your hand. And then the next effect is when damage dealt by this card is cancelled, you can send it to stock. Nice little effects. It's just a shame that it's off trait. And then our last card in this deck is a Reagan. It's just Digiclimax and then salvage a Esper, Spirit or Master character. Oh no, and then it's also a level swap, so tap one of your other Esper, Spirit or Master characters. When this is played, you can level swap, just if you don't have experience or you need blue for some reason, so I guess it's useful for that. This is the deck. This is what I could come up with for Mob Psycho. What's the issue of having the level 1 in the trial deck? They only give you 2 because we're like in 2015 or something. It's 5/5. If you have experience, you need 2 or more experience to even do the climax combo, and you need to reverse the opponent's character, and you don't even get selective choice. That deck was axed. This deck was super axed. Oh my god, this deck is horrible. I would not recommend playing this to anyone. Mediocre Brainstorm. I thought like, why don't we run this? Even though it's garbage, this one, you need to have the Brainstorm back here. And it gains 500 power, 7k, When I realized that you couldn't play the red healer, I just scrapped this deck. There was no point playing the deck. This card and gaining markers. Like, you want to run this card to get the marker consistency up, you have to run 4 Spoon. You're already running 4 events. Spoon, you can't even play if you don't have Ritsu. Not only do you need Ritsu on field, you need to tap him. And then you can use its effect, which is choose an Esper from your waiting room, and let me tell you, this dimple that bonds to the spoon is not Esper, so you're already running off trait cards. You can put it underneath your Ritsu Falling from Grace or your Ritsu Awakening Lab. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, Ritsu Awakening Lab. So you want to build a Ritsu deck, eh? You want to add markers underneath your cards, eh? You have so many markers under this, and then you spoon and they can shove markers under this, right? And you're playing 8 pants, and wait, what's that? During the attack phase, you cannot return characters from your waiting room to your hand by card effects. I can't salvage during attack phase. I can't use my pants support to salvage a character during attack phase, even though I'm running 8 pants with the support to salvage, because that's really OP, but this card is telling no. It's just a 7/5/2/1, and it gains 1/5 power for each marker underneath this card. But no, you can't do that. Let's not play this card. So our spoon is only half as effective because it only works on 1 card. So remember, if you want to play spoon, you need to have a Ritsu on foot, you need to tap your brainstorm. I mean, biggest purchase regret ever.